let's shift gears. It's time to talk about toxic relationships.
Sandra, what is a toxic relationship? I feel like this is one of those like Insta terms, like toxic relationship. What is it?
I think a toxic relationship is one where you're in a situation where it feels really bad. You feel bad all the time. You feel bad about yourself. There's so many question marks. And it's just not a good feeling to be around either your significant other that's toxic or a friend that's toxic or you're in a toxic work environment.
So you were in a toxic relationship.
Yes.
I mean, you've been in a couple, like with your spouse, with the foursome. Okay, pick one. Pick one and tell us about it. We'll start from there.
Okay. I was in a toxic friendship relationship for years. We had a group of 4 girls from college. And in the beginning, we all started on the same playing field. Everything was great. And then over time, 2 of the girls were very jealous of myself and one of the other girls. And it just was never a good situation. Like always nasty comments, always made us feel bad about ourselves if the 4 of us were together. It was just never good. Always picking on one of us. And to me, that's toxic. That's a toxic environment.
I completely agree. I think that with friendships, there's also toxic friendships that are like bad influence friendships,
Yes.
right? They're well-intentioned. So like yours was malintentioned, right?
Yes.
But I think that there's relationships where the bad behavior feeds off of each other, whether it's like drinking or partying or even like gossiping, right? Like we all have that friend where this like dirty little side of us comes out, right? And what do you do about it? Like, do you get rid of them or do you just try to realign the friendship? Like, what's the answer?
I think you try to realign the friendship. I think you set your boundaries and you make a decision. Like, let's say that you have a drinking partner and then you decide you don't want to drink any longer.
Yeah.
Do you really want to cut off that friendship with the person, or you just want to set your boundaries and just simply say, I don't really drink anymore?
And if you set your boundaries, you might like not have the friendship anymore.
You might.
So like I did this thing. I mean, I know you're very anti-alcohol. I sway. So I went through this thing last year where I was like, I'm going to take 3 months off drinking altogether and just see how I feel, how do I look, right? And I feel like I lost friendships in it, which is like really pathetic. Yes, which is so insane. Like random people didn't want to hang out with me because I wasn't boozing with them, which shows that was a toxic relationship, but I didn't even have to do anything to end it. It just like naturally evolved because my bad behavior ended and the common denominator was the bad behavior.
So you were no longer a partner in crime.
I was no longer fun. You know, and I think you are very much who you associate with. So if you're 100%. Associating with toxic people that are bringing you down all the time, you are the sum of those parts.
Well, you can't grow as a person if you are in a toxic relationship or a toxic friendship. And you really can't love yourself, because loving yourself, you wouldn't want to be around that, or you wouldn't want to put yourself in that type of situation. I worked with a life coach, and the number one thing that he told me was end these toxic friendships. And that's what I did.
Was it hard?
It was really hard to end the friendships.
Do you look back?
I don't miss them. And I think part of the reason why I don't miss them is because I don't miss the anxiety that I felt being in that friendship for so long. Because I felt if I'm going to dinner with you and I feel anxious, I shouldn't be with you.
No,
I shouldn't
you
be in your
shouldn't.
presence. Or if I feel like something that I've accomplished, I'm afraid to talk to my friends about that, then that's not the friendship for me.
So how did you find yourself in the toxic friendship? Because it probably wasn't toxic when you met.
It wasn't toxic when I met, but I believe the other 2 girls had really bad childhoods.
Okay.
Way worse than my childhood was, or the other girls' childhood was. And as you get older, or as they got older, I think that those issues came to light. Instead of her getting help, she just displayed, I was like her punching bag.
Which is not fair to you.
Because I was actually so nice to her all the time.
But that's like, I think that sometimes is how you end up in these situations. Like you're so nice that they can get away with abusing you over and over because other people won't stand for being the punching bag.
Exactly.
So it's like the easy person to
I'm
target.
the problem, I think, in this situation. So the other girl and I are probably the problem because we allowed the behavior for so long, but the behavior was because of their background and the help that they didn't get as adults.
Yeah.
So I'm the problem because I should have set my boundaries and said, no, I'm not going to tolerate this, which I tolerated a lot. And then I finally just walked away.
What are some red flags in identifying toxic relationships across the board, whether it's employee, employer, parent, child, spousal? Like, what do you think people should look out for?
They should look out for just the way the person's treating them and how they feel. If you feel bad about yourself in that situation, then you're in a bad toxic situation.
Jealousy, I feel like, is the one thing out of every toxic trait that you cannot cure.
You cannot cure
It's just a very ugly, ugly beast, right?
Yes.
And it causes people to do horrible things. Like, even if you watch the news, think about all these crimes that are motivated from jealousy, right? Whether be it jealous of like a new spouse or jealous of somebody's, wealth or whatever.
So jealousy would be the number one thing to look for.
So if you see a twinge of jealousy out of somebody, put your little radar on.
I mean, if I had set maybe better boundaries, then she wouldn't have been able to treat me the way that she
But
did.
it shouldn't be on the abusee.
No.
You can't be like, oh, I should have acted differently so I wouldn't be abused.
So I think maybe now I am setting better boundaries.
You're setting really good boundaries now.
Learned a lot.
I love a boundary. I am like very firm with a boundary.